My loving greetings, Vanakkam, Namaste, Prem Namaskar to one and all of you. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I want to share with you wisdom that will make you understand the journey of the soul. However, I will be taking you through a few episodes in order to cover the subject matter adequately to enable you to make a difference to the quality of your life. This is the first episode in the series. Many people live their entire lives caught up in the pleasures and pressures of life and without understanding the purpose for which they have come down into this world. To understand the journey, we first have to understand who we are. His Holiness Brahma Sri Sivasubramanya Guru Swamigal, the founder and ecclesiastical head of the Sevasiddhanta Sangam of South Africa, asks a rhetoric question in a song. Nan yaro, ni yaro, arivar yar anbene. Who am I? Who are you? And who is this friend we have in God? A Greek philosopher, Thales, living in the 13th century, was once asked, "What is the most difficult of all things?" And he responded, "To know thyself." Even in this 21st century, we are grappling in our minds to discover and understand who we are. When you ask yourself, who am I? What response do you get? A person today generally identifies with his body, mind, and intellect. Is that what you really are? Are you the body? Are you the mind? And are you the intellect? We all need to understand that body, mind, and intellect are only the instruments we use when we come down to earth to experience life. When you die, your body becomes a corpse. This corpse still has all the limbs, the sense organs, the head, and the heart. But none of these function, and all are fast putrefying. They start decaying. Why? The life has gone out of it. That which functioned through these physical and subtle organs, that which saw through the eyes, heard through the ears, and thought through the brain, has departed. Therefore, there must be a higher and cogent principle which enlivens the body. That principle is the Atman, the Jivan, the soul, or the self. It is neither the body nor the mind, and it exists apart from the body, mind, and intellect. And this is the real self, the soul, the Atman, the Jivan. When I say this is my house, I am not the house, but that I live in it. Likewise, if I say this is my body, I am not this body, but I am in it. Generally, when people make inquiries about the funeral of a person who has passed away, they will ask, what time is the body coming home? What time is the body going to the church or to the hall? You refer to it as the body and not the name of the person, because the person is not there anymore. So we understand that the real self is not the body, mind, and intellect, but the soul being. We are all soul beings. And the soul is an eternal entity and is on a long journey. So the soul has not been created, therefore it would not be destroyed. It is the body that is being born, and the soul uses the body that is being born. So what is born dies. So the body is born and the body dies. But the soul just takes a ride in the body that is born and leaves the body when it dies. So it comes in a body in this world, lives a life, and then leaves. Entry into the body is birth, and exit from the body is called death. What lies between birth and death is life. So the soul is caught up in this cycle of births and deaths. Let me share with you some Western thoughts about life after death and the eternity of the soul. John Masefield, a world-renowned poet, in one of his poems, he said, "I hold that when a person dies, his soul returns again to earth. Arrayed in some new flesh disguise, another mother gives him birth. With sturdier limbs and brighter brain, the old soul takes the road again." So it's very clear from John Masefield's poem that we are on the road, and even after death we will continue to take the road. Socrates, a Greek philosopher, once said, "I am truly confident that there is such a thing as living again. The living spring from the dead, and the souls of the dead are in existence." In Russia, the eminent Count Leo Tolstoy wrote, "As we live through thousands of dreams in our present life, so is our present life only one of many thousands of such lives, which we enter, and from the other more real life, and then return after death. Our life is but one of the dreams of the more real life, and so it is endless until the very last one, the very real one, the life of God." Emerson, an American transcendentalist, wrote, "It is a secret of the world that all things subsist and do not die, but only retire a little from sight, and afterwards return again." Walt Whitman, in his poem Song of Myself, writes, "I know I am deathless. We have thus far exhausted trillions of winters and summers. There are trillions ahead and trillions ahead of them." The Quran, which is the scriptural text of the Muslims, says, "And you were dead, and he brought you back to life. And he shall cause you to die, and shall bring you back to life, and in the end shall gather you unto himself." So the different texts, the different messages coming from different people brings home the same and similar message, the eternity of the real self, the soul being. So why have we been stuck in the cycle of births and deaths? Guru Swami, the founder of the Sangam, says, Vandarul Sevai Siva Vandarul Sevai. Inda Vadambedithan Payanan Ariye. Bestow your divine grace upon me, Lord, so that I may realize the purpose for which I have taken this mortal body. We come into this worldly life to negate the negative karma that we have accumulated through the experiences of the past. So the goal is to get rid of the negative karma. We have lost the pure, beautiful, and pristine nature. We have to return to this pure and pristine nature. We have to use the experiences of life for the purification and purgation of our lives. So the goal is to gravitate our lives to a state of absolute pureness of Parisuttam. When the soul reaches the state of absolute pureness, God grants the soul grace or arul, and the soul is liberated from the cycle of births and deaths. The soul experiences eternal peace and immortal bliss in oneness and in synergy with God. Guru Swami says, Attan Adidum Andamadu Atmanuka Sandamana Vidu. The place where the Lord Himself is dancing in the ecstasy of spiritual experience, that place is a real home for the soul. So we have to gravitate to a state where we reach that absolute pure state, we become liberated from that cycle of births and deaths, and we return home. And in that home, we are one with God. Voltaire, who was a world-renowned French author, was lying in a hospital bed in his old age. And while he was there, he expressed so much of fear of death. He was restless on the bed. So the doctor who attended to him in that French hospital had to give him tranquilizers to calm him down because of the fear of death that he had. The same doctor subsequently went to the next ward and to attend to an ordinary 8-year-old girl. And this girl was also facing the same impending death. And this doctor wondered, here was a world-renowned personality expressed so much of fear of death. And now this ordinary 8-year-old girl who was also facing death was so calm, relaxed, self-composed. And he goes to the girl and asks her, my child, aren't you afraid? And the child asks, why should I be afraid? He tells her, but you know you do not have much time to live. You know you're dying. Aren't you afraid of dying? And she responds, why should I be afraid of dying when I could see the Lord stretch out His arms to me and tell me, you can come home to me, my child. So this is the home in oneness and synergy with God. So all of us have to return to this permanent home someday. So in essence, the soul comes to the world in a body, experiences life, and leaves the body in death. People are generally afraid of death. They think that it is dark and eerie. But when a person lets go of the known, death is a beautiful experience. This cycle goes on and on until the soul gets liberated from the cycle of births and deaths and attains mukti and experiences eternal peace and immortal bliss in oneness and synergy with God. I will end at this point and take up the discussion in the next episode. You can only make a difference to your life if you follow the continuity of this discussion in the subsequent episodes. Thank you. God bless you. Nandri Vanakkam. Om Namah Shivaya.